change that'll take from what would it be? Would you tell me? I will sit here on this chair and pretend that I don't care. Rest, torn by worry. Is this where the ending? Is this where the ending stars fall apart? The ocean don't bend. The water's getting in. I'm slowly sinking. Sounds water. I'm slowly sinking. There is only one of you, only one of me. There's a million of those who won't let us be. But they're not gonna see me bleed. Cause baby, I got you. I've been beaten to the ground, dragged across the dirt. I've been scared to live cause some people never learn. But they're not gonna watch me burn. Cause baby, I got you. It's a new beginnings and a better life. It's a dancing underneath the disco lights. They can try but they can never take me down. Ooh, cause I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. They always bring all the lonely, but with you here nothing can scare me. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I will tell them what I'm feeling forevermore. I don't care about the feelings, not anymore. So let's show them that love is pure, no matter who it's for. It's a new beginnings and a better life. It's a dancing underneath the disco lights. They can try but they can never take me down. Cause I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Desert Adventures in Arizona, coming to you from the nice and warm southwest part of the country. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a good day so far. It's Monday, and got a cup of coffee and my granddaughter's artwork cup, so I'm enjoying that this morning. Yum, yum. Let's see who we have first in the house and channel member. Thanks, Gracie and Jock's Adventures. And I think I heard Gracie was up in Idaho, I want to say. See who else we have. Misha Lee is here. Good morning. Good morning. Good to have you. Another great supporter, Talca Detector, coming over from Chile, I believe. Welcome, welcome. Catherine Cook is here. Good morning, Catherine and Homer. Hope you guys are doing well. Another channel member in the house, Step Van Dan. Hugs from Minnesota. Let's see who else we have here. She Devil Adventures. Tommy is working and lurking. Good to have you, Tommy. Hope the bus build's going well. Another channel member in the house. There's Nosh. Howdy, howdy, everyone, she says. Good to have you. And here we go with Roy and Becky's Travels. Good morning, good morning. Coming to us from Quartzsite, Arizona, where it's a little bit warmer than here. Now, I was watching CR View's video this morning where he was talking about moving into an RV park up there in Quartzsite to spend the summer. And I heard Roy and Becky, you were talking about that too. So I assume that you're going to be doing that this year. I think it'll be a lot more comfortable. Saying hello. All right. So welcome. Ava Potterfield posted on her community page that they had a death in the family. And so she wouldn't be going live probably at all this week. So we need to keep Ava and her family in our thoughts and prayers. And Lucas just got done saying his prayer. So here he is saying good morning to everybody. You got a wet face, buddy. Yeah. He's out there having fun with mom. Yeah, having fun with mom playing ball. He lives for chasing that ball. He's really good at it, too. All right. Thanks for checking in, Lucas. Thank you. He's doing well. It's warming up here, so it's going to be interesting to see how he does when it is approaching 100 degrees. He won't be playing quite so hard. But anyway, keep Ava in your thoughts and prayers. Again, she had a death in the family, so that's always tough to deal with. I pinned Van Life Voyages live at the top of the chat, so we'll do a raid over there and see what's up in Tanya and Derek's world. That's at 9:00, and then at 10 a.m., Roy and Becky's Travels will be coming to us live from Quartzsite, and we can get an update from them. Traveling on Adventures, who is really close to being monetized, it will be coming live at 11 a.m. So Traveling on Adventures, we'll pop over there and give them some watch hours too. So Naj has given us her report there from Florida, 82 degrees and 53% humidity. Ooh-wee. That's actually pretty low for over there, right? Traveling Merton and Sue are over there in Florida visiting Lucky Dog and Lucky Dog Productions moderator, Sue and Bob, and they did a live yesterday. And they said it's actually pretty nice there in Florida. They were set up on Lucky Dog's property and with the windows open and enjoying a nice breeze. Hey Siri, what's the weather here today?
Should be sunny today.
Yeah, 88. That's not too bad. Chance of rain 0. No rain here for a while, and I heard the weather report said they're not expecting any rain for quite a while. So if you saw the first intro video, I flew the drone over the desert and you could see how nice and green it is. Well, that's all dried up and crunchy now. So we're left with crunchy weeds. But that's life here. Yeah, South Florida. I don't want to go into a park, but Becky does. Well, when mama's happy, everybody's happy, right, Roy? I know you learned that rule. That's I think that's a husband rule, not just a man rule, but a husband rule. Let's see what Dan's got for weather. He says it's 39 and raining. Ooh wee. That's cold. That is cold. We were like 48 this morning when we got up, and we're supposed to hit 88. So it's like a 40-degree swing there. Captain Jack is here. Foggy morning in Texas. 79 up there in Quartzsite. Look at that. We got Tim in the house, another channel member. Good morning, Tim. Mo bang for your bucks. He just dropped a video on 5 things uh, that you need to check before taking off on traveling. And so he went through his van, checked the oil, kind of explained how that's done, check fluids, underneath the hood, and a few other things. So Mo Bang for Your Bucks has a great video, so be sure to check it out. Wanderers Chasing Horizons is here. Good morning. Good morning. Kanab, Utah. Beautiful area. 60s here today, 70s this week. Love Utah. I spent about 18 months up there in Ogden back when I was in the military, back in the 80s, actually. Beautiful state. Beautiful state. Thanks for being here. What else we got going on? So, went to the farmers market yesterday. On Sunday, they have a really nice farmers market. It's about 45, 50 minutes from here to the west in Oro Valley. Really nice market. You notice people are, I think, using more farmers markets around here because, it's organic, right? You're not dealing with all the chemicals and things like that. Seems to be fresher. The vegetables that we buy over there are basically picked that morning or late yesterday before they open, and it's really good vegetables. They even have meat over there. There was a couple of vendors that were from Arizona here who were selling beef, and that's beef that they raised. So really a good turnout there, and we enjoy going over there. There's a vendor there from Sahuarita who makes different flavored nuts. There's a pecan farm down there, and there's a gentleman that comes out with all kinds of different nuts that are flavored, and that's my favorite vendor to visit. All right. So, what's going on in everybody else's life? All right. Roy says 93 today. Be a little bit warmer, a little warmer than us. Yeah, going into RV park, that's an issue, huh? Okay, all right. Will be a blessing, for them with your singing talents. That's that's cool, and you can record them too, Roy. You can run around there and ask, do some interviews, sing to them first, and get them on your side, and then do some interviews and, get them up on your channel. That would be great. Well, I kinda went down a rabbit hole yesterday. I was, watching YouTube, and if you guys have ever heard of the channel The Y Files, I stumbled onto them here a couple weeks ago and, have been watching them. He's been talking about, we all drive cars, we drive RVs, we all have gasoline-powered or diesel-powered vehicles, right? And he talked about something that I heard before, and that is, did you know that there was an inventor, numerous inventors who were able to get 200 miles per gallon out of a vehicle like an old Ford Galaxie 500. And there was another inventor who was able to basically get an engine to run on water, things like that. And then evidently, the oil companies bought those patents out and basically squashed that technology. And it's pretty shocking, in my opinion, to see that we could be running around, at 200 miles per gallon on our vehicles, and we're not able to do that because they basically squashed the patents. And it's really frustrating, but I guess not a whole lot we can do about it. I think there might be an opening at Roy's Park. There's definitely an opening in La Posa South now. Um, CRV was showing yesterday, doing a walk around and talking about moving into the RV park also, and there's not a whole lot of people there in La Posa South anymore. John P. Adventures is here. Good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome. Oh, yeah. Practice today by singing happy birthday to Ron. That's right. Ron Darrell Adventures is 78 today, 78 years old. So happy birthday to Ron Darrell Adventures. Traveling abandoned rails in Arizona and California. Wow, that's cool. What's the name of that channel, Roy? I know Southern Pacific is pretty strict about people doing that. So on abandoned railways, I guess it's not that big of a deal. But there was a carburetor that was built by Tom Ogle, who was an inventor back in, gee whiz, when was it? 1950s. And that carburetor basically takes gas and it vaporizes it really well, gets it into the engine, and that's the car that was running 200 miles to the gallon. Boy, I wish I could do that. There's also, uses of electricity to create water into oxygen and hydrogen gas. So I did a Google search yesterday looking for hydrogen cars, and I guess there are actually a few of them out there. They're mostly in California. But that would be cool. I guess pumping hydrogen is inherently dangerous when you talk about, putting it into a vehicle. But if you could fill up a tank with water and then have some kind of conversion to where you convert, part of that water into hydrogen because it's H2O, right? It's oxygen and hydrogen makes water. So it seems like you could convert that on board your vehicle and make it move forward. So it was actually a car that was built that ran coast to coast, and they only used 22 gallons of water. Would that be cool? Oh, John P was timed out. Too many emojis. Okay. John P, if you're still there, apologize for that. It's not a setting that I have put in there, so you're probably out for 300 seconds. And oh, Boise, Gracie's up in Boise, 57, 33 and cloudy. Ooh, you should have stayed down here in Arizona another week or so. It does sound cool, huh? Would be a neat way to get. You remember seeing those carts that you could pump the handle and they would propel forward. Homer turned 75. He watched DVD and went for groceries. That's good. That's good. 75. I hope I make it. I'm almost 68 now. Boy, and if I thought I was going to live this long, I'd have taken better care of myself when I was a teenager. So anyway, a lot of those inventors that came up with these patents, they actually made these patents that were squashed. Some of them were squashed, they say, by the government for security purposes. So I don't know. I don't know. You can. It's a deep rabbit hole. You can go way down those and follow that. But anyway, the Y Files is a YouTube channel that I've been following and watching. They would find a way. Yeah, it seems that way, Jack, huh? Oh, you want to get out of the wind, huh? Yeah, it was windy down here too. We just had the first day yesterday with light winds, and which is much better. Step Van Dan is 59. Awesome, awesome. So I better play my my happy birthday video here. Scrolling. It's all the way down to the bottom. Somewhere down here. There it is. So happy birthday to Step Van Dan, Ron Darrell Adventures, and everybody else who's having a birthday this month. Ah, the Little Fox Rail Cart is the channel. Okay. I have to check that out. The one that I'm talking about is Captain Jack. Oh, here comes Lucas again. He's coming in for another visit. Lucas. There's Lucas. All right. Okay. Just popped in to say hi. All right. Go see Mama. Yeah, good boy. Okay, where was I? I forget the emojis. No worries, John. No worries. You're back. Yeah, let me show you this channel that that goldfish is kind of irritating, but I'll show you this channel. Share screen, and then here's a little snippet of that channel I told you about.
20s and perhaps even earlier, scientists have discovered many different ways of making energy less expensive and more efficient. However, in every single case, their technology was suppressed. And in many cases, the inventors died under strange circumstances.
Okay, you've got my attention now.
Charles Pogue was a Canadian mechanic and car tinkerer. In the early 1930s, he started experimenting with carburetors, trying to improve fuel efficiency. Now, if you're not a gearhead, a carburetor is a part of a gas-powered engine that mixes air and fuel for combustion. The mixture is then sent to the engine cylinders, where it's ignited to power the engine. Now, unlike traditional carburetors, which mix air with liquid gasoline, the Pogue carburetor fully vaporized gas before it entered the combustion chamber. This made the engine more efficient, much more efficient. In 1936, Pogue was issued a patent for a high-mileage carburetor. This was his third iteration of the invention and his third patent. In early 1936, the Breen Motor Company tested the Pogue carburetor on a Ford V8 coupe. It got 26.2 miles on 1 pint of gasoline. That's almost 220 miles per gallon. Ford tested it. They got 200 miles per gallon. The Pogue carburetor was tested for Canadian Automotive Magazine. They reported 218 miles per gallon. Now, that article created a lot of excitement, but it wasn't good news for Charles Pogue. On the Toronto Stock Exchange, oil company stock prices crashed. Brokers were swamped with orders to dump all oil stock immediately. Soon after that, Pogue's shop was broken into. All carburetors, equipment, notes, and documents were stolen. He never built another one. He never.
So there you go. There you go. It's all about money and power, right? Money and power. So we could be running around at 200 miles per gallon. You're welcome, Dan. But we can't. April 27th. All right. John is that 40? 40 years old? Still a young man. You like coconut macaroons? Not sure about that. Not sure about that. There's Fairy Dusk. Good morning. Good morning, Bernay. Good to have you. Good morning, Desert Friends. Yeah, it's pretty wild. He's got some wild stuff on his channel. He's got another video where he talks about free energy, where they did some testing, back, was it Nikola Tesla way back when did some testing and actually made what they call free energy. And I guess that's doable too. But again, all those patents were shut down, taken over. I know, right? That's, and it's weird because 200 miles per gallon back then, well, the government is pushing efficiency on vehicles and they're requiring a certain mile per gallon average from manufacturers. And so manufacturers are making these little cracker box cars so that they can continue to make the trucks that we need to haul stuff around, to pull our trailers, RVs, to live in, and of course, vans and that sort of thing. So they have to make the cracker box vehicles that run 40 miles to the gallon in order to get the average mile per gallon up where they need it. But the technology is there to make it better. And it's very frustrating. I think we would travel more if gas was cheaper. Gasoline here in Southern Arizona is actually more than diesel right now. It is crazy. Lily T is here. Good morning, Lily. Good to have you. How's Pippi doing this morning? Van Life Voyages is here. Good morning, Tanya. Listening and getting ready. And again, I pinned Tanya's live at the top of the chat, so we'll run over and do a raid at 9:00 and see how she's doing and see how Derek's doing. Last I heard, Derek is doing better. Yeah. Although Ford now has a new pickup truck. I forgot the name of it now. I just saw a couple of them the other day. They're redoing their small truck. What's the name of it? What's the name of it? Jack's the old black lab. Oh, really? So that must be something he can chew on, huh? Pippi is full of pip this morning. Good to hear it. Good to hear it. Money and power, right? That's basically what's going on with technology. It's all controlled. Some things they actually classify as secret so that they can keep it suppressed. And what AJ on the Y-Files suggested is that if you come up with a good idea, don't patent it. Share it with everybody. That would have been the thing to do with that 200 mile per gallon carburetor that was invented, because evidently the government has representatives in the patent office from many branches of government. And so they monitor those patents that come in, and anything that pops up that they're concerned about, they get involved. So AJ mentioned in that video that if you have a good idea, don't worry about somebody stealing it because the money will be there. Don't patent it, but share it out with everybody that you know. And that's in his opinion, the best way to get that information out there. That's right, Lily. Tesla's making them, right? Electric semis. I saw Elon Musk was actually over in China over the weekend. He's trying to convince them to let him run the autonomous cars over there, the self-driving cars. Nice, nice. Tommy's saying hello. There's Bernae saying hello to everybody. So, kind of an interesting channel. I'm going to watch more of it. He has a lot of, I guess you call them disclaimers on the front end to say, some of his stuff might be conspiracy theory. And so I'm really surprised his channel hasn't been taken down because, well, he's got a couple million subscribers, but very interesting stuff that he shares. Also, do you guys notice that UFO information seems to be coming out more and more? National Geographic actually put a video out where they interviewed a Navy pilot. And I want to show you a little bit of that. It's titled Government Breaks Silence. So I'm going to share my screen. And let's watch a couple minutes of this.
Can you start off by telling me your name and a little bit about your career in the Navy?
My name is Ryan Graves. I was a lieutenant in the Navy for about 11 years. And I was with the VFA 11 Red Rippers in 2015. We were aboard the USS Theodore Roosevelt. While we were off the coast of Virginia Beach, what we were seeing out there were essentially radar contacts that we didn't think belonged there. 2 aircraft from my squadron were flying out to the area one day. They were about 100 feet or so apart. As they were flying through the area, the lead pilot in this aircraft saw an object zip right by his aircraft. What they described was a dark cube inside some type of clear sphere where the corners of the cube were touching the inside of that sphere. When the crew came back, they were shocked. They're like, hey, we almost hit one of those damn things. There was really no answer of what it was. And so our squadron filed a safety report, and we continued filing reports.
Ryan Graves and many other pilots reported these strange encounters with these unknown aircraft that had no wings, no cockpit, no intakes, no exhaust, and that were somehow seemingly able to fly.
They began to have numerous encounters, weekly, almost daily in some cases. This continued month after month, year after year.
I can't tell you how many times I've talked to pilots, both civilian and military, say, hey, Lou, the reason why I didn't report this because I didn't want to lose my job. I got a mortgage to pay, I got kids. You know, if I report this, they're going to think I'm crazy.
So we've been battling this stigma for a while, but I couldn't just ignore the things that I was seeing just because everyone else was uncomfortable talking about it. It's just a matter of time until there's a mid-air collision.
You can't muzzle, you can't squelch the truth. Our entire democracy is based on the principles of truth.
Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. You guys believe in UFOs? Well, the Navy pilots have seen them quite often when they're out flying around. And there was a stigma against even reporting it for a long time because, you know, as a military, especially as a pilot, you don't want your sanity to be questioned at all because they can take you off of flight status for any reason at all, and you basically lose your job. Nate's here. Yeah, UFOs are pretty dang energy efficient. I should invent one. They already have, I think. I think they already have, Jack. Good morning, Nate. Hello to you and Paula. I'm going down a couple of rabbit holes, Nate, with UFOs and some technology that was invented decades ago that have been squashed. As I pay over $4 a gallon for gas, it made me think, geez, that guy that invented that carburetor that gets 200 miles to the gallon, and they basically shut him down. I wish I had that today. I do UFO stories, Desert. Okay. Don P. Adventures, huh? Cool. We'll have to check that out, John. Thank you, Brene. And I know how those guys had to be careful because when you're in sensitive, you know, jobs in the military, anyone who questions your mental status, because one of the things that I did was I was in munitions, bombs, bullets, and missiles, and with a security clearance, and so you had to be very careful who you hung out with, what you said when you were at work, off duty, because you didn't want to lose your position based on something that you said, right? Any question on your sanity, you know, they can take you out in a heartbeat. Yeah, I know. 62 plus years. Well, it seems to be coming out more and more. And these Navy pilots, that's National Geographic that I showed you. They're on YouTube. They have like 23 million subscribers. And I was really surprised to see that video pop up. I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but it's on my watch list. So I'm going to check it out. But it seems like we're getting more and more, they're kind of cracking the door open on the UFO phenomenon. And maybe it's to get us used to that. Now, there are sightings all over the country, and there are stories about people being abducted and, you know, all of that. And a lot of people were hesitant to share it, but especially the military. So I'm going to be running that rabbit hole there for a while, and we'll see how it turns out. But it seems like, you know, there was also another invention I read about yesterday where a guy, you know, they can create gravity if they can create gravity using magnetic force, then they can undo that. And that's basically how these UFOs fly around is they have anti-gravity devices of some sort inside them where they can zip around, and it's just crazy. I keep trying to catch a ride. Stand out there with a flashlight, Roy, and maybe they'll stop and pick you up. There's also another video where people reported where they lost time. So they were, doing their normal thing, and then all of a sudden they appear back where they were, and 15 or 20 minutes or a couple of hours are gone. They're like, no, wait a second. Why is it 10 o'clock and it was just 8 o'clock in the morning? Seemed like 2 minutes ago. And so those people talk about the abduction and what happens to them. It's pretty wild stuff. That's exactly right, I think, Naj. Not profitable for the oil company to make a car that can run 200 miles a gallon. 200 miles on 1 gallon of gas. Yep. Lee is here. Good morning, Lee. Good to have you. Beam me up. Take me away from this crazy world, Mobang says. Sooner is here. I haven't seen you in a while. Sooner JH Travels. Welcome, welcome. I know, yeah. Did you guys see that? The Phoenix Lights, they were supposedly UFOs, and it was well documented. And there were no military flights out there. Typically, when the military is training, they'll drop flares. And in fact, I worked on some of those when I was in the Air Force. They were LU-2 flares that had big parachutes on them, and they would set them off, drop them from an aircraft, and they would float down very slowly. And the reason they used them is to light up the ground. So, they could see the enemy and take them out. And some of those flares have been misidentified as UFOs, but I don't think that was the case in Phoenix, those lights in Phoenix. They were a string of lights, I think 4 or 5 or 6 lights that were over the Phoenix area here in Arizona, and they never figured out really what they were. But, we have Area 51 up there in Nevada, and some people's opinions include technology that is created up there. And that may be what we're seeing is Area 51 type technology flying around. Lucas is doing good, Lily. He popped in earlier to say hello. He's doing well. I think he's out playing with Mama right now. There were talks about preparing the public slowly so the public doesn't freak out. Exactly. Heard that back in the 70s, yeah. And that was a lot of talk back then was, were we ready for that? Were we ready to know that we're not the only thing in the universe? And maybe they're cracking the door a little bit more, getting us used to that. Makes sense, doesn't it? You're echoing my ideas. Yep. And supposedly they can make electricity out of the air, basically. Boy, can you imagine not having to pay an electric bill? Maybe you can put an antenna up on your van, a specialized antenna, pick up static electricity out of the air and run your laptop and your TV and everything you need to run. Whoop. You just ran in and ran out. Lucas, Lily wants to see you, Lucas. Lucas, come here. Okay. He's all jacked up here. Okay, here. Lucas. Come here, Lucas. Come here. There he is, Lily. Get your look. Quick. Okay, he's gone. He's all jacked up and excited this morning. And there he comes again. You see the curtain behind me flopping around. I don't know what's got into him. Pretty sure I saw a UFO when I was a kid where the Air Force was testing a weird plane, right? Yeah. Very likely you did. And a UFO is an unidentified flying object, right? Remember when they started coming out with stealth technology? The F-17 fighters were the first stealth fighters that the Air Force had. Well, they basically developed those in Area 51. The B-1 or B-2 bomber, which is a stealth bomber that the Air Force has, that was developed in Area 51. So it makes sense that when those technologies come out from the black world into what we call the white world, when those technologies come out, you know they've got to have something else that they're developing, because once they release that, thumbs up, once they release that, then they're developing something else. All right, Lily T, thank you for popping in. Give Pippi a hug. 8 years old, huh? Yeah, I think a lot of us have had those experiences. Edwards Air Force Base. Yeah, they do a lot of testing there at Edwards. They have a test wing there, and they test a lot of new aircraft. Exactly, Tim. We're not the only creatures in the universe, right? Yeah, it really strikes you, huh? It stays with you, and it's something that you never forget when you experience that. I can't say I have experienced it, um, seeing a UFO, but I know a lot of people who have. Yeah. Is that what happened, Roy? Edison sabotaged it? I know there's a lot of information out there on wireless electricity. Look at that. We got Ivan K in the house. Just popped in to listen for a bit. Well, we're running down some rabbit holes, Ivan. Good to have you. Hope you're doing well. Exactly, Tim. What you see today is already old technology from 10 years ago. Exactly. So by the time it comes, what they call the black world, it comes out of the black world into the white world, where we can see it sitting on a flight line or flying over our head. That's old technology. It's dated now, but it takes a long time to develop that stuff. I have lit a 4-foot fluorescent bulb under power lines just by holding it in my hands. Yep, that's exactly. I've seen that too. As a matter of fact, I worked at the electric co-op here in Arizona, and I could take a voltmeter and basically put it on a cabinet inside a substation, electrical substation, and measure 90 volts on a cabinet inside the substation. And so what you've got there is that electrical field that's around you, and it actually energizes things, putting voltage on them. And so everything is grounded inside a substation so that you don't get shocked, when you touch something and you become the path. Step Van Dan says he's an alien, and that's another rabbit hole you could go down, huh? Some people believe that there are aliens among us. Some people believe that aliens are guiding us and helping us with technology. That's kind of an interesting rabbit hole, huh? You are magic, Roy. Yes, he is. I don't know if Becky would agree with that, but we'll take it. Yep. Thanks, Ivan. I was watching, I showed a little bit earlier, Ivan, a channel that I was watching, and it's called, I just lost it. That's what happens when you're almost 68 years old. It's called the Wi-Fi, the Wi-Files, the Wi-Files. And he was talking about some of the technology that's been squashed. And then also I ran into another channel that talked about UFOs, and they actually did an interview with a pilot, a Navy pilot that has seen numerous UFOs. And so that was on the National Geographic channel. There we have Crafty Traveler in the house. Good morning, Lonnie. Good to have you. Lonnie's been dropping videos on her travels around. So be sure to check her out. Well, Captain Jack, you could possibly do that. You could possibly do that. There would have to be the 500K lines, I think, before you could pick up anything. But there's got to be a way to do it. Getting the voltage is not too difficult to get. It's to get the current flow that is the trick there. So, well, that's my world here. The last couple of days, it's nice being retired when I actually have the time, to run down these rabbit holes, do a little research, think about things. When you're working, and I worked for 45 years, you don't have time to think about stuff like that. I was more concerned about that report that was due on Monday morning, or, that project that we had to get done by the end of the week. And so my focus was always that direction. And I'm really enjoying life now, where I can get up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, look out the window, and then Oki and I decide, okay, what are we going to do fun today? We go out and we play with Lucas and think about things, watch some YouTube videos, and have a great day. So once again, I want to thank my channel members, CR View, James Catanese, Traveling Merton and Sue, which are in Florida, Mo Bang for Your Bucks, who's in the chat, Step Van Dan, always appreciate your support, Box Van D, Crafty Traveler, Lonnie's in the chat, so be sure to check her out. Blind Views, Fit for Expedition is traveling around Arizona, dropping videos. Grandma Kelly's Clean Life, Clean Living, and she'll be live tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. I always enjoy that. She gets some interesting topics going too. A lot of stuff she talks about is about relationships. Roy and Becky's Travels again will be live at 10 o'clock today. Jolly Matilda, which some of you folks probably remember, she's still a channel member and actually popped in one of my videos and made a comment. She said She didn't have a laptop. She was on a friend's laptop, but wanted to let me know that she was still out there. Naj, of course, from Florida is a channel member. Thank you, Naj. Gracie and Jock's Adventures. Gracie and Jock are up in Idaho, enjoying the cool weather up there. And I did an interview with her and her new van when we saw her down here at Ironwood. Van Life Rocks is a channel member. He's dropping videos on his using his motorcycle, and he's got a new drone now too. Traveling Tramps, that's Dave and Kathy. They're spent some time here in Arizona, and they're headed back east. And then, of course, Johnny's Journey. Johnny is one of the best van builders out there. She's just started van number 13, and she actually built Gracie and Jock's van. Beautiful, beautiful van. She does great work. So anybody who needs work done on a van, be sure to check out Johnny's Journeys. Too much thinking can get you in trouble sometimes. That's right, Lonnie. That's exactly. Amp me up. That's what you need. You got to have voltage and amps to make watts, right? So you can have voltage, but no amps. You don't have any watts, and watts is power. That's right. Get up, have some coffee, write down some ideas, and then fall asleep staring at the sun. That sounds like the life. That is the life. You got it, Jack. All right, we're coming up on 58 minutes, so Tanya will be starting her live here in a couple minutes. And once again, thanks everyone for being here. I'm going to run my video thanking the members. Be sure to check out their channels. In the meantime, I hope everybody has a great day and a great week, and we'll see you next time.